In the quiet coastal town of Graymore, fog wasn't unusual. It rolled in from the sea like a slow, whispering tide, blanketing the streets, smothering the sound and cloaking everything in a ghostly haze. But over the course of 7 weeks, the fog seemed to bring something darker. It started with a single murder. An elderly man named Everett Langston, known for keeping to himself in a creaky Victorian house near the cliffs, was found dead in his parlor, his mouth sewn shut with coarse fishing twine. No signs of forced entry, no fingerprints, no witnesses. The only clue, a single conch shell placed carefully on the windowsill. Graymore, a town of less than 3,000 people, had never seen anything like it. Then came the second murderer, teenage girl Mallory Cray, found near the old shipyard. Same signature. Mouth sewn shut, conch shell nearby. Panic swept the town. The police were baffled. The killer didn't follow any logical pattern in choosing victims young or old, wealthy or poor, connected or not. The only thing they shared was the brutal silence forced upon them. And the sea. People started locking their doors at night. Businesses closed early. Rumors swirled. Was it a ghost? Cult? Someone from out of town? Or were someone they knew? Detective Alina Voss, brought in from Boston, wasn't superstitious, but even she admitted something about Graymore felt off. The fog, the old fishing legends, the wary eyes of the townsfolk, they all seemed to keep secrets. Alina noticed that the conch shells left behind were not ordinary. Each one was rare, usually found only deep beneath the Atlantic. And each had a faint, almost melodic whistling when wind passed through it. Local folklore claimed these whispering shells carried the last sounds of dying sailors. Creepy nonsense, she thought until she put one to her ear and heard a whisper. Not wind, not air. A word. Listen, she began sleeping badly. Her dreams were filled with the ocean, deep and black and mouths sewn shut. But she kept working. One night she visited Graymore's forgotten museum housed in a rotting boathouse, hoping to understand the shells better. The museum curator, Elias Moore, a gentle-eyed man in his 70s, guided her to an exhibit on maritime superstitions. As he explained the origin of the whispering shells, Alina noticed something strange. In the corner of the room was an old painting, slightly water-damaged, of the town's founders. Among them stood a man who looked exactly like Elias Moore. "Who's this?" she asked. "Oh, one of my ancestors," Elias smiled. "The Moorline's been here since the beginning. It just inherited the face." That night, another body turned up. Number 7, same ritual. In a shell again. But this time, it was different. The shell was broken. Alina took the pieces to a marine biologist in Boston who confirmed something chilling. The conch had been grown, not found. The shell had been artificially created from organic materials, bones, crushed coral, even human cartilage. Someone was making them. She returned to Graymore immediately. She confronted Elias at the museum, but he claimed ignorance. His hands trembled, and his voice cracked. Yet his eyes were steady. So she waited. She staked out the museum at night. And then, through the fog, she saw it. Elias, carrying something heavy in a tarp, walking toward the cliff behind the museum. Alina followed silently. She watched as Elias lifted the tarp. Inside was a body, fresh eyes open, mouth sealed. But then, something stranger happened. Elias began to whistle into one of the shells. The fog thickened unnaturally around him. A deep groan came from below the cliffs, like something waking up beneath the waves. Alina's heart pounded. She stepped forward, gun drawn, and ordered him to freeze. Elias didn't resist. He turned slowly, smiled, and said, "It's not me. You need to stop." The ground shook. Something moved in the sea. Then Elias dropped to his knees and began convulsing. From his mouth spilled seawater and sand. And a small, writhing creature. It shrieked, turned to mist, and vanished. Elias collapsed dead. The autopsy later revealed that something parasitic and unknown had been living inside Elias, burrowed deep into his brain, using him like a puppet. It wasn't human. It wasn't just a killer. Alina had the shells destroyed. She made sure the cliffs were sealed off. But she never returned to Boston. Some say she still walks Graymore, especially on foggy nights, listening for whispers, because one of the shells was never found. And sometimes, the fog still groans.